If you think you know how a MOBA works, think again. Right now, the Honor of Kings global server has a solid roster, but the developers have been cooking up some absolute madness behind the scenes. In the original version of the game, there are mechanics that literally bend the rules of the genre. While these heroes aren't available globally just yet, it is only a matter of time before they make their debut and turn our meta completely upside down. We are talking about future releases that can erase skills mid-air, break the map's economy, and straight up rob items right out of your inventory. Today, we are breaking down the 6 most mechanically unique future heroes destined to shatter the global server. Let's dive straight in. First up on our future watch list is the ultimate nightmare for every single marksman and mage main, Shan. When this guy eventually drops, he's going to completely alter how team fights are played. He isn't just a regular tank with a defense buff. His passive makes him a mobile fortress, giving him a permanent 30% damage reduction while his shield is active. When you activate his skill 1, he enters a defensive stance and raises a massive barrier. This barrier doesn't just block damage, it completely deletes projectiles from existence. Every basic attack, every mage fireball, every projectile skill shot, gone. Need to engage? His skill 2 allows him to charge forward, grab the first enemy hero he hits, and fling them completely over his shoulder right into your waiting team. And if they try to escape? His ultimate lets him slam his shield into the ground, creating an impenetrable wall that knocks back enemies, deals heavy damage, and blocks all physical movement and projectiles. He can single-handedly shut down an entire composition. He can also use his first skill in towers, making enemy team more annoyed, as that also heals and gives shield to the tower. What's scarier than a tank that blocks everything? A future support that makes your hyper-carry filthy rich before the mid-game even starts. Meet Taiyi, the absolute king of economic manipulation. Taiyi's passive is fundamentally broken for competitive play. Whenever a nearby enemy minion or monster dies, Taiyi and his closest teammate receive an extra 20% bonus gold. Think about that. Just by standing in lane, your marksman gets an item spike a whole 2 minutes faster than the enemy. But he isn't just a walking passive. His skill 1 lets him brew explosive energy in his furnace, granting him up to 30% bonus movement speed and scaling defensive stats. When it detonates, it deals massive magic damage and stuns everyone around him for up to 1.5 seconds. If you max out the charge and hit a hero, the cooldown instantly refreshes, letting you chain stun the entire lane. His skill 2 acts as a gap closer, launching his furnace's hand to pull himself toward an enemy or terrain. But his ultimate is the real prize. Taiyi protects himself and the lowest health nearby teammate for 3 seconds. If either of you die while this is active, you instantly resurrect 2 seconds later with up to 80% of your max health, releasing a burst of magic damage. It's a built-in guardian angel on a basic support cooldown. If resurrecting your teammate sounds cheap, how about a future frontline tank that literally requires the enemy team to kill him twice? Say hello to Sulai, the unkillable wall of the clash lane or tank. Suli's passive is going to be one of the most frustrating things to deal with when he arrives. When he takes fatal damage, he doesn't die. Instead, he enters a 4-second unyielding state, recovering 70% of his max HP but becoming immobilized. When this happens, 3 flame beacons appear around him. If your teammates step on these beacons, they get healed, and Suli instantly recovers 10% of his HP per beacon. If all 3 are lit, or if the 4 seconds pass, he roars back to life with a massive attack and movement speed burst, sending a shockwave through the enemy team. His offensive kit is pure crowd control. His skill 1 empowers his next 3 basic attacks, with the 3rd strike knocking enemies into the air. His skill 2 turns him into a human bulldozer, charging forward to push enemies back. And if he rams them into a wall, they take extra damage and get stunned. But his ultimate is a game changer. He charges up his giant ram and slams the ground, creating a massive earthquake. Anyone caught inside is knocked skyward for up to 1.5 seconds. The crazy part? When those knocked up enemies land, they cause a secondary shockwave, dealing extra damage to nearby allies. Drop this in a tight jungle corridor, and it's an instant team wipe. Next up, we have a tank support that completely breaks the rules of map rotations and macro strategy. Say hello to Taiyi, a hero who turns the entire battlefield into his personal fast travel network. His passive is absolutely insane. Taiyi can summon mystical cauldrons around the map. Once he unlocks his ultimate, whenever he stands near one of these cauldrons, his recall button literally transforms into a teleport button. This allows him to instantly teleport to any cauldron he has placed on the map with a 60-second cooldown. The further away it is, the longer the channel, but during the cast, he gains complete CC immunity. He starts with a limit of 3 cauldrons, which scales all the way up to 8 cauldrons late game. His skill 1 lets him place these cauldrons at designated locations to act as permanent wards for map vision. But it gets better. Any teammate standing near his cauldrons will continuously recover health, ticking for 300 plus 6% of their max HP over 20 seconds. Meanwhile, casting it gives Taiyi a massive 75% decaying movement speed burst to rush across the lane. For combat, his skill 2 launches a massive rock fissure forward that explodes on max distance or on the first target hit, dealing high physical damage and a heavy 0.75 second knockback. This also triggers his hunting stance, giving him a massive enhanced basic attack that chunks enemies and heals him back up. But his ultimate is pure teamfight chaos. Taiyi smashes a giant cauldron onto a target location, dealing massive physical damage and knocking up enemies for 1 second. But here is the kicker. He can cast the skill a second time to instantly teleport directly to that cauldron, gaining full CC immunity and unleashing a heavy shockwave that slows all surrounding enemies by up to 30%. His map pressure is going to be completely unmatched. If you thought manipulating map gold with Taiyi was crazy, wait until you see the absolute peak of future psychological warfare. Meet Kongkong'er, a support warrior hybrid whose literal job is to rob the enemy team blind mid-fight. His passive is one of the most toxic, rule-bending mechanics ever introduced in a MOBA. Kongkong'er builds up energy over time. When his bar is completely full, releasing your movement key causes him to instantly blink forward and empower his next basic attack. This enhanced strike deals scaling physical damage, applies a 15% slow, and literally steals a random piece of equipment from the target. He then strips that item away and hands it to a nearby teammate to use. If there are no teammates around, or if he hits the same target again, he temporarily inspects the item before returning it, dealing another massive burst of physical damage. He disrupts item spikes, destroys enemy stats mid-clash, and even gains 1 bonus gold just for smacking minions with it. To make him even harder to catch, his entire basic kit revolves around deceptive clones. His skill 1 hurls a clone forward for 5 seconds that deals damage and heals him. Recasting it lets him instantly swap positions with it. His skill 2 does the opposite. It leaves a clone exactly where he is standing while blinking him forward. These clones don't just stand there, they actively mimic his behavior, dealing 25% of his damage while drawing enemy auto attacks and skill targeters away from your carries. But his ultimate turns him into a one-man army. When activated, Kongkong'er spins his puppets to deal a massive 600 base physical damage plus 150% scaling, knocking back anyone nearby. Then, it triggers a vortex that ticks every 0.45 seconds, pulling outer enemies right into the center. The broken part? Activating your ultimate automatically triggers both his skill 1 and skill 2 simultaneously, spawning his clones in a perfect triangle formation. All of his clones start spinning and pulling enemies at the same time, while his energy recharge goes into overdrive, allowing him to swap positions with each clone to continuously reposition. It is an inescapable, item-stealing hall of mirrors. If Kongkong'er messes with the enemy's head, our final future hero completely redefines how your team positions. This is Luban Master, the master architect of team coordination. If you play with a pre-made squad or a hyper-carry marksman, his kit turns your team into a coordinated esports roster the second he hits the global server. Let's break down his insane engineering mechanics. His passive turns him into a tanky brawler. Every single time Luban Master casts an ability, he generates a shield for 280 plus 5.5% of his max HP, stacking up to 3 times. Plus, every 6 seconds, his basic attack gets supercharged to deal a burst of magic damage, followed by a delayed AoE blast that hits for 300 plus 50% magic damage. His engage tool is his skill 1, a propulsive leap where he uses his mechanical arms to rocket forward. When he lands, he deals heavy magic damage and flings enemies into the air with a clean 0.5 second knockup. But his skill 2 is where he breaks the game's positional rules. He gains a massive 75% decaying movement speed burst and throws out a mechanical tether to an ally for 4 seconds. While linked, the ally gains a stacking shield every 0.5 seconds, up to 8 layers. Here's the magic trick. The tethered teammate gets a unique interaction button on their screen. The moment they press it, they instantly teleport directly to Luban Master's location. It is a literal get-out-of-jail-free card for your backline. If he doesn't target an ally, this skill switches to an alternate mode, allowing him to fire a claw that tethers directly to terrain, pulling himself across the map like a high-tech grappling hook. And to guarantee nobody escapes his setup, his ultimate is a massive crowd control magnet. He fires his mechanical arms out in a wide cone, connecting with up to 6 enemy units. It deals initial magic damage, and if they try to run too far away, the wire snaps, yanking them backward. If they stay connected for 1.25 seconds, Luban Master yanks every single connected enemy straight to his face, pulling them into a tight cluster while inflicting a 1-second stun and a massive explosion of magic damage. Even though these heroes aren't live globally yet, looking at how insane their mechanics are, they are going to absolutely reshape the meta when they do arrive. Whether it's Shan erasing projectile compositions, Taiyi breaking the gold economy, Suli forcing impossible frontline fights, Taiyi locking down the map with Cauldron Teleports, Luban Master pulling off flawless saves, or Kongkong'er straight up robbing people, the future of Honor of Kings Global looks wild. Which of these upcoming heroes are you most excited to main? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more future hero breakdowns, leaks, and high-tier strategy updates, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.